When Alex Warren turned 30, his technology company sold for $4.8 million. He immediately bought a luxury apartment, started flying business class everywhere, and picked up a high-end sports car. People started calling him a millionaire, and he believed them. But there is a massive gap between acquiring a large sum of money and possessing the actual skills to manage it. This bar chart shows exactly how fast that lack of knowledge costs you. Over just 2 years, Alex's starting balance of $4.8 million depleted by nearly $700,000, simply to maintain his new lifestyle. Then a friend approached him with a private business opportunity. The pitch was simple: hand over $500,000, and the investment would double, guaranteed. Alex didn't read a single financial statement or investigate the company. Relying entirely on blind trust and the ego of a millionaire, he transferred the funds. 3 months later, the company vanished. His friend stopped answering calls. The office phone line was disconnected, and the $500,000 was gone. Sitting at his kitchen table late that night, Alex logged in to his bank account. Only $2.1 million remained. For the first time since the sale of his company, he realized he had zero financial safety net. If hundreds of thousands of dollars can evaporate in a matter of months, looking rich is a dangerous illusion. Without a strict defensive strategy, even millions will eventually vanish. That night at the kitchen table forced a hard psychological shift. Alex abandoned the desire to spend money and became obsessed with protecting it. He wrote down 3 laws on a piece of paper. Rule number 1: never invest in something you don't understand. This was a direct countermeasure to the blind trust that cost him $500,000. Rule number 2: set strict boundaries for risk management. Never risk money you cannot afford to lose. And rule number 3 laid the groundwork for everything else. Wealth must be protected before it can be multiplied. Defense must always precede offense. Acquiring capital is practically meaningless unless you build a rigid system to defend those funds against your own emotional decisions. Instead of trying to impress his social circle, Alex embraced the absolute boredom of strict financial administration. He started tracking every single dollar that left his account. He also immediately hired a qualified financial advisor to identify the blind spots he clearly couldn't see himself. This chart illustrates his new mechanics. He completely stopped making speculative bets, built a highly diversified investment portfolio, and simultaneously filled a dedicated emergency cash reserve. 5 years passed, and Alex's lifestyle took a deliberate downgrade. He drove an ordinary car, wore simple clothes, and took quiet offline vacations. True financial defense relies on a simple premise. You make your wealth invisible to the public while heavily fortifying it behind the scenes. This line graph tracks the results of that extreme discipline. By age 42, after recovering from that severe initial drop to $2.1 million, his net worth steadily compounded to cross the $9 million mark. Then his phone rang. It was the same friend who had convinced him to make the disastrous investment years ago, calling with another amazing opportunity. Alex smiled, politely declined, and ended the call. He had finally realized that the fastest way to lose money is to become desperate to make it. Building a company and generating a windfall requires specific skills, but keeping that money in your bank account relies entirely on emotional discipline. Growing that money over time relies on a third pillar: patience. Patience completely removes the anxiety and desperation that leads to quick, risky bets. It is a strange paradox. Looking ordinary is often the strict price of keeping millions. And unfortunately, learning that framework often requires losing hundreds of thousands of dollars first.